this changed my entire perspective of this entire place. Like, you need to get out, and you know what? You're tired of being at home. You take the bus and you talk to the bus driver. Have you ever wondered what it's like for an immigrant to adjust to a completely new country more than 1,000 miles away from home? As an immigrant myself, I can sympathize with you. Hi and welcome to my second YouTube video. My name is Sabrina, and my goal is to reach as many people as possible to help them feel less lost, less alone, and more connected and more loved by creating a community on this beautiful yet very much confusing planet called Earth. Now this time I would like to discuss something that I would have loved to know during my adjustment time here in the United States. Hopefully this can actually give you as well some comfort and awareness, and maybe even give you more hope for the future. Just a little bit something about me. I was born and raised in Germany until the tender age of 21, and now I'm over here in Texas since over 10 years now. There were many cultural differences I had to adjust to myself. So from being stuck at home due to not being allowed to work and not having a driver's license, to changing jobs for like more than 10 times.
What?
And considering a 30-minute drive a die Ecke, which if you're from Germany, you probably know what that means. If you don't speak German, then this means around the corner. Now please hang on while I'm going to list my 10 things that I wish I would have told myself before I moved over here. The first thing is understand US history. I'm telling you, it will help you so much to understand the details of this country, of how this country became what it is now. And it will also help you understand the people here and why they have the opinions that they have. So you will also understand that because sometimes their opinions are divided, they're actually united. So this is what you will understand once you're actually getting into the history of the US. I do have a video linked down here below. If you want, go ahead and check it out. It's an educational video about the US history, just some basics. Hopefully this will help you a little bit. Number 2 is, yes, farewell will hurt. Getting on that plane, having your luggage ready, all the steps that you had to take. You finding yourself in a new country, yes, it will hurt. However, this is your life to live, and you will be okay. Remember and focus on the reason why you came here in the first place, and try to build your life based upon that. Number 3, Americans are actually very welcoming to people that come from different backgrounds, especially if they open up about where they're from. So one thing I've noticed is that if I don't mention where I'm from, and my accent sometimes tends to get a little bit thicker, especially when I'm, worried or need to address an issue, or like when I'm nervous. However, once I open up, 9 times out of 10, they will slow down on their end as well, and they will try to understand my point of view. So I've been pretty lucky so far. I've had really good experiences with the Americans here. Number 4, Americans are mostly forgiving. So if you make any mistakes sometimes, maybe at work, during your driver's license test, or just other different encounters, don't sweat it, okay? You don't have to be perfect on your first try. If you're from where I'm from, I'm used to having to be, to learn fast, right? I used to have to learn fast from my mistakes, but here it feels like they give you many and plenty of chances to correct yourself. I feel like for them it's more important to learn from your mistakes instead of just doing it perfectly right away. Number 5, they sell German food at Aldi stores here. Yes, they have Aldi stores. I love going there because it does give me some comfort. Now, if I would have known that before, then I would have probably ditched Walmart and just went to Aldi right away. And they do sell German branded stuff. So like Deutsche Küche, different types of chocolates, especially for holiday times when it can get a little bit lonely and your heart is hurting a little bit because you miss your family. which, you know, they're overseas and you miss them, you don't know what to do. Well, go to Aldi, especially if you're from Germany. Go to Aldi, get their chocolate, wrap yourself up in a little blanket and get snuggled tight and just eat while you cry if you have to. No, but yeah, just go ahead and check it out if you haven't yet. Aldi's a pretty good place to go shopping at. So if I would have known that before, I would have probably, yeah, again, ditched Walmart and just went to Aldi straight away. Now number 6. Number 6 would be explore your city that you live in, especially with the bus, public transportation. Man, I'm telling you, this changed my entire perspective of this entire place that I live at, okay? If you live out there in the village, you probably won't get a bus. However, if you live next to a city and you feel like you need to get out and you know what, you're tired of being at home and you want to get out, what do? You, girl, you take the bus. Oh, man, dude, you take the bus and you talk to the bus driver. You sit down and you just go from one end to the other. But observe the city, observe the route, observe the people driving in the car next to you. These are all the things that have helped me a lot to get to know the country better and to really understand some of the things that they do, or even like the perspectives. It's a little bit difficult to explain, honestly. You have to try it really for yourself. Yes, get on that bus, get to know your city, and get to know the people. You will see people that live in the city are a little bit different from the people that live outside of the city. So if I would have known that before, that I don't have to be so skittish and not be so shy, I would have done that way before. It took me forever to have the balls to even get on the bus to go anywhere. Okay, but also that was almost like 10 years ago. So, but still, just do it. Just do it. Number 7. Number 7. Communication works completely different here, okay? So it will take you some time to communicate appropriately to your neighbors, to your friends, to your supervisors, to customers. It's a tough ride. It was a tough ride for me, at least. Maybe it's because I'm an overthinker, but I do believe that communication is key, especially here. So if you're new here and you want to make sure they understand what you were talking about, or you just kind of want to, you know, you repeat yourself over and over again and try it in a different way, you know, try to explain yourself in a different way. If I would have known that beforehand, I probably would have saved myself from a lot of trouble, especially at work. Hence the reason why I switched jobs so many times. It took me a while until I actually found a job that I enjoyed. But about that, we'll talk another time. So, number 8, you guys. Number 8. You will find yourself constantly having to let go. What do I mean by that? Guys, what I mean with that is that your neighbors will move a lot, okay? So you will meet neighbors. You will love those neighbors. You will probably even invite them over for dinner, for breakfast, for brunch, or maybe you just met, you know, a friend and you want to get out with her or him or whatever. And what you don't realize is that it's possible that they're already moving away another week from now. This happens here a lot, especially in Texas. Now, I don't know about all the other states, but I know for a fact, okay, here in Texas, I cannot count it on my hand how many times I had to say bye to people. Especially, you know, when you think that you found someone, you know, let's say at work, you know, what you will be left with is possibly one person that will stay in your life. I have this one person and she knows. You know, girl, you know. So, what I'm trying to say is it's very difficult to keep consistent friendships. Just be prepared. It's possible, maybe it's not the case for you, but it definitely was the case for me. And if I would have known that, I would have probably maybe even invested a little bit less time in my emotions. Number 9, distance does not, and I repeat myself, not matter, okay? So communication is always key. People who are meant to stay in your life, they will stay in your life, man. They will stay in your life. And not everyone can keep a distance relationship alive, and that's okay. All right, that's okay. Your paths may lead you, together to some point, and then eventually you may have to do this, go separate paths. But who knows? Maybe one day, eventually, you go like this again. I never know. However, that's one thing that I have learned, and I wish I would have known beforehand, because again, same thing with my prior point, number 8. I would have focused a lot more on myself and probably would have done a lot more growth work, or just kind of made less things dependent on other people. So that would be my number 9. Number 10 is try not to take a lot of things here personal. So as you may know, Americans, they can be misunderstood sometimes, just like we can be misunderstood. Sometimes they misunderstand us, but for them, most of the time, they like to have small talk. They like to have, someone to talk to every once in a while. But don't take it personal if they don't always reach out to you. And don't take it personal if they don't want to meet up. Everyone here has their own busy life. They work a lot here, okay? So taking off from work, vacation, or whatever, it costs a tremendous amount of time and money. Things work a bit differently here. So be patient with your new friend. Understand that it's not personal, and just keep on checking up with them every once in a while and see how they're doing. A lot of people here have their own struggles to fight, and a lot of things that we don't even know about. They don't like to talk much about problems here. They kind of just like to work on it by themselves, and they kind of try to ignore their problems most of the time. Or maybe they share it with their own family, but friends are usually more acquaintances, or considered acquaintances. So again, don't take it personal. Focus on yourself, and it's just part of adjusting, to your new life circumstances, and just understanding you're growing, and understanding that people have their own lives too is part of growing. So this will definitely, hopefully, help you out in maybe changing your perspective. Understand that overanalyzing everything to the smallest detail was a survival mechanism, which plenty of us still experience as immigrants. Know that you're not alone, and if you happen to be a friend of someone who just moved over to a different, to United States, try to understand why they're going through these changes, and maybe kind of try to catch up with them and see what they're going through, because it can be really tough for someone that's not from here. It's different. It's a different thing from going from one country to another on the same continent versus going from one continent to a complete different continent, more than 1,000 miles away from home. Now, if you're American and you're watching this video because you want to understand your friend a little bit better, who may be coming from a different country as well, and who is an immigrant, and who has a difficult time adjusting, or maybe you have difficulty trying to understand them, I hope this video has helped you out a little bit more, maybe to understand the whole adjustment issue on a little bit deeper level. Remember, moving abroad is mostly a personal decision. It also takes a great deal of bravery and constant learning. Now, I really hope this video helped you out. I understand that it's tough sometimes, and I understand you may feel lost or lonely at times. Knowing these things, or at least being aware of the points that I just mentioned, help guide you to the right direction. I hope you have a really good rest of your day. Keep your head up and hopefully see you soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching my second video. Bye.